So yep, after a Vulture and one Wraith harassment opening, he's going to start pumping Medic and Marines again. But so far, I saw that the barracks were dark, so he just has a few Marines inside that bunker for the defense, but that's all he'll have right now. He's going to rely mostly on his tanks to defend. So Modesty is making the correct switch, getting up the Spire as well to work on those mutas. And he can definitely switch into lurkers, try to make use of those early Hydras with this kind of a build. Okay, let's see if Hiya has enough resources to start his upgrades on the Academy and the Engineering Bay. He's getting up a Radiate right now from the Science Facility, and building some turrets, just trying to make sure he's safe against any incoming mutas. Kind of got screwed over by mutas in his game versus Zero, so he's much quicker to get those turrets out now. Yeah, he definitely wants to be more safe than sorry in this game, because he wouldn't be able to correctly find that muta timing without scanning with this kind of an opening from Modesty. Now, opened with the Hydra, so who knows when those mutas are going to show up. Okay, more science vessels being pumped from the starport. Right now, I think that Hiya does have an adequate defense. Even if some mutas roll in, he'll have the turrets next to his base, although I just saw the one turret at the natural expansion. But it seems that the Hydra is about to move out. Evolution Chamber coming up for Modesty. We're going to work on those ground upgrades and keep those Hydras in play. Most likely going to morph into lurkers in a bit. Here's the first person of Hiya waiting until the SCV was out of the way to build another barracks. Trying to get up some more turrets as well. Let's see. Got the science vessels moving out. I think there comes some mutas, so he's going to try to irradiate the mutas. Does get a irradiate on one of the mutas. That muta was pulled out pretty quickly, though. Oh, the muta's definitely in trouble. Yeah, they're definitely down to low health. But really, Modesty has to deal with the turrets, because the turrets are basically the only anti-air at the moment, except for irradiate, of course. Muta, the infected muta being pulled out. But look at all this irradiate from Hiya. Plenty to keep these mutas at bay for now. Only 2 mutas left for Modesty, so he's got to fall back, wait till he has more before he tries some more harassment. And he built some Scourge now to try to limit the amount of science vessels that are out. Yeah, because we have about 3 or 4 science vessels grouped up near the factory, and those will definitely be a big threat to Modesty, not just for the Mutalist, but for any incoming lurkers as well. But okay, Modesty has built his 4th base down at the 8 o'clock position, already has that mining, I think. Here come the lurkers now, making use of those Hydras he built earlier, so that's good. Science vessels will help out a lot against that, but for now, Hiya does not have a huge medic and marine force out. He built all of his barracks, just now getting the barracks pumping, so he'll be able to move out soon, but this is going to give Modesty an opportunity to expand all over the place to get up his economy before Hiya moves out. And that will help him out a lot. So taking that 4th base at the 8 o'clock position is definitely a good decision, as long as he protects it with a couple of lurkers later, gets up his Nidus Canal or something. But here comes some Medic Marines and tanks getting ready to move out. This is a pretty powerful force from Hiya, and he's kind of scanning in the middle, making sure there's no troops awaiting him to get a nice pincer attack. But here come some Scourge taking out one of the science vessels, and some lurkers trying to get into a good enough position. They will be irradiated. 3 lurkers being irradiated before they even burrow. Going to burrow and die immediately. Pop, pop, pop. So 3 lurkers out of the way for Hiya. But he's moving forward. He has to be nearly out of irradiate by now, because he used a lot on the mutas earlier, and he just used 3 more on the lurkers. So moving forward, there's some more static defense being built by Modesty. Looks like his static defense is going to be a little bit late, though. Got to use the lurkers and lurkers alone to protect himself. He's going for a counterattack at this natural expansion for Hiya. Hiya's natural expansion is going to fall, but another science vessel taken down at the natural expansion. Modesty doing a bit of base trading by... yeah, he's just pushing forward with those troops, trying to get as close to the production buildings as he possibly can. But Hiya is right outside with the siege tanks. The siege tanks will devastate this natural that Modesty has. He's trying to get the hive there as well. So the hive is probably going to go down. I don't see any more defenses for Modesty anytime soon, so losing that hive is definitely going to be critical. Not to mention this evolution chamber that's going to go down, lose some important ground upgrades going forward. And I think that Hiya is probably going to be able to clean up Modesty's troops inside of his main. The lurkers that kind of position themselves next to look at the tank being repaired by 5 SCVs, trying their best to keep that tank alive, and they do keep the tank alive. So Modesty still in the 3 bases though, got to get close to those tanks and hope that Hiya does not have the presence of mind to scan or get in there with a science vessel. Yeah, he's really picking at those tanks. Gets down 3 tanks before they were scanned. Modesty trying his best to defend with piecemeal troops right outside of his main. His natural expansion is gone, and you have to rebuild the lair to get up to hive tech. So, yeah, putting the hive at the natural is going to hurt him a lot, actually, not being able to tech up to defilers anytime soon. Because he did not get out the hive in enough time to build the defiler mound. So yes, he's definitely going to be behind in defilers. And being behind in defilers in TVZ is just a death sentence. If your defilers are just a few seconds late sometimes, your game is destroyed. Okay, reinforcement troops moving out now for Hiya. You see a 3rd base there, still unharassed for Modesty, trying to get a nice pincer attack and buy himself some time to get up his defiler mound. But I haven't even seen the lair anywhere. It could be at the 3rd base that he had. Well, the 2nd base now, I guess, over near the 9 o'clock position. Some more lurkers trying to come into play, trying to protect this 12 o'clock position as well. I didn't even realize this was a base up here, actually. So he had, so Modesty actually had more bases than I thought he did. He had 5 bases, had the 12 o'clock and the 8 o'clock, as well as his 2 naturals in the main. So that's pretty crazy. He's taken out a science vessel. Now his 12 o'clock position is going to die. Goodbye 12 o'clock, and goodbye this 3rd base as well. So I think Modesty is just losing too many bases now to this attack from Hiya. He's doing a good job keeping the science vessel count low. But other than that, I think that Hiya is really rolling him in this game. Hiya is still on 2 bases himself. Hasn't taken his 3rd yet. Probably going to start building that float over soon to the base right to the western side of his main. But the Hydralisk Den going to go down. All the important tech is gone for Modesty. And I'm not even sure if he's restarted his lair or not. I haven't seen that anywhere. No, hasn't even restarted his lair. So just trying to do his best to surround with lurkers. Just trying to fight back everything with lurkers so he can reposition his economy for a comeback, but Hiya is definitely not letting up with the pressure coming in with even more reinforcements to clean up the main. He's going for the main now, trying to cut Modesty off at the neck. Kill the rest of his important tech buildings and production hatcheries inside of this main, going straight for the main. The death march of the Medic and Marine forces. Not many lurkers to defend, a few lurkers, but I think that Hiya could definitely get a nice surround of those lurkers with the Medic and Marines and take them down. This is kind of an awkward space to attack lurkers. It's kind of a choke point, which will make it difficult to micro against them. So it's kind of why Hiya is backing off for now. He's mostly going to use Irradiate to try to break through the lurker field. He gets 1 lurker in the Irradiate coming in with the tanks as well. He's waiting for his tanks to get this support for these Medic and Marines. 2 tanks up front are in danger. They're right in the lurkers' range, but most of the lurkers taken down. Science vessels get the vision. So all the forces that Modesty had are basically gone. Natural expansion goes down again, so his main is going to be obliterated. You see his hatchery already in red from an earlier attack. So these hatcheries die, and he basically just has the 2 lurkers that are gone now for the defense. Some lurkers are morphing inside those eggs, but they're not going to last too much longer either. Okay, Hiya, Death March. No reason that Modesty should not GG at the moment. I have no idea why he hasn't. I guess he just doesn't want to think that he's going to be knocked out of an OSL after getting to the semifinals a couple seasons back. But here we go. GG. Modesty's out of the OSL, and Hiya is actually going to move on to the final set. Hiya has a chance to move into the round of 16. Epic. Okay, let's do it. Final match.